Good morning, all. Today we will discuss one question from this topic, that is the boundary tracking. बाउंड्री ट्रैकिंग भी एक इम्पॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है इमेज रिप्रेजेंटेशन एंड डिस्क्रिप्शन में, और इसमें यूजुअली हमें कोऑर्डिनेट्स लिखना होता है बाउंड्री पिक्सल का एज वेल एज बैकग्राउंड पिक्सल्स का. सो हाउ टू प्रोसीड इन दिस क्वेश्चन? सो इन दिस क्वेश्चन, this shaded portion it represent the object pixel, and this white pixel it represent the background pixels. So in order to start this algorithm, that is called as the boundary tracking algorithm. So in boundary tracking algorithm, we have to first target the topmost pixel and the leftmost pixel of this given image. इस इमेज में जो हमारा ऑब्जेक्ट पिक्सल्स है, दैट इज जो हमारा शेडेड पिक्सल्स है, इसमें हमें टॉप मोस्ट लेयर और लेफ्ट मोस्ट लेयर को टारगेट करना होता है. तो टॉप मोस्ट लेयर इसमें है ये, और इन दोनों में जो लेफ्ट मोस्ट पिक्सल है इट इज दिस वन. सो वी विल मार्क दिस बाउंड्री पिक्सल एज B0. We will mark this object pixel as B0. Now from B0 we have to target the waist pixel. Waist pixel of this B0, it is this one. So we will write it C0. So now look at the indexing x-axis. The indexing it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this direction, the y-axis it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the coordinate of B0 it is 1, 2, and the coordinate of C0 it is 1, 1. So ऐसे क्वेश्चंस में बाउंड्री पिक्सल्स और बैकग्राउंड पिक्सल्स को हम टेबुलर फॉर्म में रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं लाइक दिस. So this side we will write the coordinate of the pixel from which the clockwise rotation started, that is we have to write the coordinate for the background pixel, and here we have to write the coordinate of the boundary pixel extracted, that is the coordinate of the boundary pixel, that is B0, B1, B2, B3 and so on. So in the first iteration or in the 0th iteration, the coordinate of B0 it is 1, 2, x, y. In x the indexing it is 1, in y axis the indexing it is 2. So the coordinate of B0 it is 1, 2. What is the coordinate of C0? The coordinate of C0 it is 1, 1. So I will write here 1, 1. Now after writing B0, coordinates of B0 and coordinate of C0, next we have to target the 8 neighborhood pixels of B0. ठीक है. Next we have to target the 8 neighborhood pixels of this B0, and from C0 we have to move in a clockwise direction. We have to move in a clockwise direction, and we have to observe which is the next boundary pixel that we have reached. So this is the next boundary pixel that we have reached. So we will mark it as B1. Before reaching to B1, what is my background pixel? This is my background pixel. Before reaching to B1, this is my background pixels. So I will mark it as C1. Now what is the coordinate of B1? The coordinate of B1 it is 1, 3. So I will write here 1, 3. Next, what is the coordinate of C1? It is 0, 3. So I will write here 0, 3. Next, in the second iteration, we will target the 8 neighborhood pixels of B1. 8 neighborhood pixels of B1. Okay. And from C1 we will start the clockwise rotation and we will observe which is the next boundary pixel that we will hit. So from C1, we will start moving in the clockwise direction and we will observe what is my next boundary pixel that we will reach. So this is my next boundary pixel that we have reached. We will mark it as B2. And before reaching B2, what is my background pixel? So this is my background pixel. So I will write it as C2. Now what is the coordinate of B2? The coordinate of B2, it is 2, 4. So I will write here 2, 4. And what is the coordinate of C2? The coordinate of C2, it is 1, 4. So I will write here 1, 4. Now in the third iteration, we will target the 8 neighborhood pixels of B2. We will target the 8 neighborhood pixels of B2, and from C2 we will start moving in the clockwise direction and we will observe what is my next boundary pixel that we will reach. So from C2 we will start moving in the clockwise direction and we will observe which is my next boundary pixel that we will reach. So this is my next boundary pixel that we will reach. So we will mark it as B3, and before reaching B3, what is my background pixel? Before reaching B3, this one is my background pixel. So I will mark it as C3. Now what is the coordinate of B3? The coordinate of B3 it is 3, 4. So I will write here 3, 4. And what is the coordinate of C3? The coordinate of C3 it is 3, 5. So I will write here 3, 5. Next, in the fourth iteration, we will target the 8 neighborhood pixels of B3. So the 8 neighborhood pixels of B3 is look like this. And from C3 we will start moving in the clockwise direction and we will observe which is the next boundary pixel that we will reach. So from C3, if we will move in a clockwise direction, we will reach to this boundary pixel. Now this boundary pixel we will mark it as B4. And before reaching B4, what is my background pixel? So before reaching B4, this one is my background pixel. So I will mark it as C4. Now what is the coordinate of B4? The coordinate of B4 it is 4, 3. So I will write here 4, 3. And what is the coordinate of C4? The coordinate of C4 it is 4, 4. So I will write here 4, 4. Right? Now in the fifth iteration, we will target the 8 neighborhood pixels of B4. The 8 neighborhood pixels of B4. And from C4, we will start moving in the clockwise direction and we will observe what is my next boundary pixel that we will reach. So from C4, if you move in a clockwise direction, you will reach to this boundary pixel. Now this boundary pixel, I will mark it as B5. And before reaching B5, which is my background pixel, this is my background pixels. So I will mark it as C5. Now what is the coordinate of B5? The coordinate of B5 it is 4, 2. So I will write here 4, 2. And what is the coordinate of C5? The coordinate of C5 it is 5, 2. So I will write here 5, 2. Okay. Next, we will target the 8 neighborhood pixels of B5. The 8 neighborhood pixels of B5 it is like this, and from C5 we will move in a clockwise direction, and we will observe what is my next boundary pixel that we will reach. So from C5, if you move in a clockwise direction, this is my next boundary pixel that we will reach. So we will mark it as B6. And before reaching B6, what is my background pixel? So this is my background pixel. I will mark it as C6. Now what is the coordinate of B6? The coordinate of B6 it is 3, 1. So I will write here 3, 1. And what is the coordinate of C6? The coordinate of C6 it is 4, 1. So I will write here 4, 1. Next in the seventh iteration, we will target the 8 neighborhood pixels of B6. The 8 neighborhood pixels of B6 it is and from C6 we will start moving in a clockwise direction, and we will observe what is my next boundary pixel that we will reach. So from C6 if you move in a clockwise direction, this is my next boundary pixel. This is my next boundary pixel that we have reached. So we will mark it as B7. And before reaching B7, what is my background pixel? So before reaching B7, this is my background pixel. So we will mark it as C7. Now what is the coordinate of B7? It is 2, 1. So we will write here 2, 1. And what is the coordinate of C7? It is 2, 0. So we will write here 2, 0. And in the next iteration, if you target the 8 neighborhood pixels of B7, and from C7, if you start moving in a clockwise direction, and you will observe what is my next boundary pixel that we will reach. So if you move in a clockwise direction, from C7, if you move in a clockwise direction, you will again coming back to this starting point, that is the point B0. Okay, so we will mark this point. Let us mark this point as B8. And before reaching B8, what is my background pixel? So before reaching B8, this is my background pixel. So we will mark it as C8. So the coordinate of B8 it is 1, 2. And the coordinate of C8 it is 1, 1. So ultimately in this image we have applied the boundary tracking algorithm, and we have extracted all the boundary pixels and its corresponding background pixels coordinate. Thank you.